Hey everyone, welcome back to another staff development training day. So Nancy and David rolled out for our staff our professional development and classroom assessment tool and what that's going to look like. So hopefully you'll use this in your program or something similar. This is hopefully going to inspire as a director or a teacher going, hey, why don't we do this around here? So what this looks like is a monthly or could be weekly, whenever it fits your program. We're going to do it at least monthly where we send a message to our staff and say, hey, guys, we're coming around and doing a professional development and classroom assessment today. We'll see you in the next few minutes. And it allows them to do a couple things. Ask themselves, hey, how am I doing on my calendar, my newsletters, are things up? How is my room looking right now? Have I been rotating my toys? Have I been cleaning my shelves? Have I been doing circle time? Am I doing circle time? Am I executing my job to the best of my ability? And it gives us an opportunity to consider, are they up to date in all their trainings, all that. And so it's just a good check-in time. It's a formidable check-in time. And we play it as though, for example, that we're licensing coming in, right? And it allows them, we kind of put on a different hat and we say, listen, I'm not your director, I'm not your boss, I'm not your co-teacher. Pretend I'm licensing. And I'm gonna ask you questions. I'm gonna look for things that might be out of compliance, maybe aren't safe, all those kind of things. I'm gonna ask you, do you have all your trainings done, your social, emotional, all of this stuff? We're gonna have this conversation. And I think it's a great way to kind of check in with your staff and prepare them for that moment when licensing comes in. Helps condition them and understand that, hey, it's not a big deal. Because in the industry, directors, I've heard horror stories of directors and owners that panic when licensing shows up. Why? Why not just work and go through that practice of preparing your staff? Because that way they're just ready all the time. And ready meaning they're always being more conscious of safety and cleaning and quality and all those things. So I hope you enjoy this training and hope you're going to use it in your program. We're using it in ours, so beware. We'll be coming around. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy.
Everybody enjoy tossing some axes today?
Yes.
Got some anger out. So, all right.
In terms of professional development, this is, important for everyone, especially right now in Junction. We're working to get everything solidified on PDIS as we get closer to that Shines rating. But just making sure that you're up to date on your trainings and that if someone is reaching out to you about a mandatory training that you're getting it done and getting us that certificate as soon as possible. Are you flexible? How do we feel when we walk into your classroom, not from like a environmental standpoint, but from like an emotional standpoint? Is it welcoming? Are parents coming to us and saying, hey, this classroom is doing a great job? Or are parents coming to us and saying, the tone in that room is needs a little bit of work?
I think a big part is leadership. We all know which room we belong to. I've had conversations with many or most of you when it comes to handling something in the classroom. Are you being able to be a leader? Are you able to talk to your team about it and getting that room together and being able to be a leader and growing with them and teaching them instead of just telling them what your team needs to do?
And the other thing that falls in that category too is, are you asking for help? If you're gonna bring us a problem, bring us 2 solutions. Don't just come to us to complain. We wanna help you, that's what we're here for, that's what we love to do. But we also want you to be able to come to us and ask for help. We can't read your minds. We can't walk into a classroom and know exactly what you need. As well as, communication. Are you calling off all the time? How frequently are you here? Are you at least, trying to get your shift covered? And everybody should have made their little group chat earlier. So that is where we want you to communicate everything, attendance, schedule, etc. Are you using your cell phone in the classroom? We kind of touched on that with the working interview, but that shouldn't be the only factor that's, just because someone else is in your classroom shouldn't be the only reason you're not on your phone. So if a parent's in your room, you're not going to be sitting on your cell phone.
That goes hand in hand with productivity. And then how are we using our nap time? I know for a lot of our classrooms we don't have nap time, so what are we using that time when kids are finally settling down a little bit or down for nap? What are we doing with that time? Are we sitting on our phone? Are we catching up on our Facebook posts? Or are we lesson planning? Are we taking a little mental break? A lot of teachers who don't have nap time really wish that they did, because they could use that to lesson plan or to get ahead a little bit. So if you have it, let's make sure that we're utilizing it.
Can we rely on you guys if we come to you and say, hey, we really need some help with this? How is that going to look? Is it going to be a, oh yeah, sure, like what can I do? Or is that going to be a, no, not right now, I think that's kind of what we're going to be looking for. And our plan is, to do these director checkups every month. We're going to be walking through your classroom and we're going to be checking your physical environment. We're going to see, have you been planning, and are your newsletters and your curriculum hung up? If someone comes in, can they find your curriculum? Is your sub binder up to date? Is everything easy to access within your classroom? If David or I, who haven't been in the classroom for a little bit, can we step in and fill in for you for a whole day? That's what I want you guys thinking about when you're thinking of these sub binders and your curriculum and things like that. How easy is it for someone else to follow?
Deep cleaning is a very big one. Are we asking the children to wash their hands when they come for the first time, right before lunch, after snack, before snack? Are we making sure that we're trying to maintain a level of cleanliness that's safe for everybody? Because nobody enjoys being sick, and so I think that's really important.
Soft scrubbing once a week. We're still fogging every night in Junction. I don't know how often you guys are in Fruta, but looking at things like that. Are you rotating your toys? Are you cleaning your toys? Your kids are going to have more behavior problems if you leave the same toys out 11 months out of the year, because they're going to get bored. Like if you had to go in and do the same thing with the same materials every day all year, you would be like, I'm over this. So, making sure that and again, that falls in curriculum. That should be a part of your curriculum when you're planning that curriculum, thinking about what materials you're going to incorporate in the classroom with that. Doing child assessments. So I know we talked about we're not doing portfolios anymore, which should take a huge weight off of everyone's back that has been here and gone through portfolios. But the expectation is still that we're doing these assessments twice a year. So fall assessments should be done, and we're coming up on spring assessments probably in March. We want to be able to show the parents the progress their kids are making, because you guys are seeing it every day through that lens of a teacher. Sometimes parents aren't looking at things the same way we do, so it gives them a chance to see all of the great work that you guys do in supporting their child to grow from October to March.
I understand that we have some families who are drop and go or pick up and go, and we really don't have a lot of communication with them. I know that those are special cases and they're very far in view. Are we trying to communicate with that parent? Are we stepping in front of them before they can just drop off little Johnny and saying, hey, just wanted to let you know how your child's day went? Because we really do want to make sure that we are opening that communication with the parents. I have noticed that a lot of these parents that are drop and go usually are the ones that we tend to have more behavioral issues with. I think once we can create and once we can gap that bridge, and we can really help open that communication with parents.
If the parents are still coming to you saying that they're not on Class Dojo, please come find one of us, because everyone has been invited at this point, unless they're like brand new as of like Thursday or Friday. So everybody should be on Class Dojo. It is the easiest way for you guys to send out like posting your newsletters and posting homework calendars or posting that we're closed, because I can guarantee you we're going to go in tomorrow and still have at least 1 or 2 families that were like, oh, we tried to drop off yesterday. We didn't know you were closed. I'm just getting those families on Dojo, because that way, even if they're like, oh, we really have to run, you can have those conversations or some of that on Dojo as well.
Please don't give out your personal phone numbers. Know that we will not give out your guys' personal phone numbers. I've had a couple of parents ask me like, oh yeah, I'll just text them. And I'm like, no, you can connect through Class Dojo, or you can call the center and just ask to talk to them. Class Dojo is one of those safe environments. I think it's really useful because of the fact that you guys have busy schedules as well. You have a child who drops off at 7 in the morning and picks up at 5, and your shift ends at 2:30. I'm not going to expect you to wait until 5 o'clock to talk to them. Open that communication up with Class Dojo. Make sure that you are touching base with the parents and letting them know how their day is going. And I think that just kind of goes back to that leadership. I really expect you guys to take pride in your classroom. We'll never walk into your classroom and let you know that there's something wrong just because we're upset with you. If we're seeing something, it's usually because of a reason. I think, we all have the experience of, hey guys, licensing is here. You guys have 5 minutes. Let's take a close look at our room. And that's that drop feeling in the stomach of going, oh, okay, I have 5 minutes. And I think, the best proactive way about doing that is just keep it in the back of our minds. Are we keeping our room on a daily or on a weekly cleanliness schedule that it's okay that we can put things away in 5 minutes, where we feel okay with them walking through our room and looking, making sure there's no staples on the walls, just taking a quick glance. And it's just kind of staying on top of it so you have less to worry about when it's that time.
And when David and I are walking through your room, he kind of touched on it. We're not gonna walk through and just crap on everything that's wrong just for the fun of it. We want it to be so that when we send out that box of, hey guys, licensing is here, instead of that, heart sinking into your stomach feeling, you're like, oh, okay, I know this. I can get my stuff together. I know what I need to do. I'm prepared for this. And we are going to look for things like, are you cleaning under your changing table pads? And are you getting those hard to reach spots that are gross and can cause ants and cockroaches?
We will be rating you guys with professional development and classroom, and making sure that we are trying to stay on top and be able to compensate you guys for all the work that you guys do. The better score, the bigger the payout.
And we'll pretend like it's a license. Like I'll send out a Vox in the morning and be like, hey guys, I'm walking through today.
Is that what's happening? When you come in, we should expect like more of a licensing type deal when you're walking through.
Yep.
Yeah, and we're gonna check. I'm gonna look on your shelves. I'm gonna look under your rugs and see.
Area.
Obviously we don't expect you to clean under your rugs, clean the shelves, soft scrub every day, but
You have like those.
those routines done so that we can tell, hey, this has been cleaned in the last week or two. That's why it's important on Fridays that you are vacuuming under the shelves, so if they come in on a Monday morning, it's not a mess.
And so I think that's one of the things that we are going to be focusing on. Everybody has a daily cleaning sheet. We've been trying to stay on top of it, kind of a universal language, so everybody's on the same page. We want to make sure that we can be the best that we can be. And any of these things, if you guys have any issues with them, if you guys, are like, hey, I really don't agree with this, open the conversation. Let us know your thoughts. We'll explain why we did what we did and said what we said. So I have these handy dandy complaining bracelets. They were handed off last staff meeting. Every time that somebody complained, you would wear it on one wrist. Every time somebody would complain,
Snap them with it.
you would switch wrists so that way you wouldn't have a big old bruise after a day. As much as I am a complainer myself, and I know I complain on a daily basis, I think it's really important in a leadership role that when we complain, we also think of solutions. I feel everybody has the right to be frustrated. Everybody has the right to be overwhelmed. We should also be thinking about it in more of a, even though I'm having a crappy day, my teacher aide still needs my guidance. And if I'm gonna be in a crappy mood, it's not their fault. It's not the children's fault. So these are out. If you wanna raise your hand, I'll flick them over to you. If you ever have a day where you're just like, I am just in a really crappy mood, you can complain about it and then switch it around. And then just count how many times you've switched it around. It's just a good visual aid, a good way to also recognize that people are watching, kids are watching, kids are listening, kids are learning and role modeling after you. And so it's really important that we really take that personal conflict that happens outside of the classroom, that it's not little Johnny's fault when he poops his pants because we had a rough morning and we weren't able to get our morning run in.
Last year, kind of for the first time, Kim and I shared our 3-year plan. Well, I'm coming back to that to update you on that and what that looks like today. Because today it's a 2-year plan. Okay, we have 4 kids. 2 of them are here, one's in Fort Collins. Those girls are out of the house for our son's 2 years and he's done. In 2 years, Kim and I I've spent 20 years in Discovery Kids. And as owner-operators, over those 18 years, there's lots of 40, 50, 60, and 70-hour work weeks. And that's never changed, because in order for us to get where we needed to be, I've always been very committed to the business, which means very committed to our staff. Because as these guys said earlier, I mean, everything that happens because you ladies come to work, take it home, You take it to heart. You love on these kids day in and day out. Our plan is to be able to support discovery without being at discovery. So what does retirement look like? I love to work too much, so I'm not really sure, but it's going to look different. And that plan actually is starting today. Very critically, for us to be able to step away, we have to have great leadership in place. It's in place. They did a fantastic job today. And besides Nancy and David, there's more leadership that we need to step up. And so if you are looking for something bigger and greater than your current role, then be excellent and be working with these guys. That's why those groups that you made today about I'm throwing up, I'm not coming in. Did you notice I'm not in that group chat? Okay. I just really ask of you from the bottom of my heart to work with them, because the more you work with them, the more you try to take those steps forward, the easier and more supportive they can be with you. Trust me, I know. I've been on the other side of those Voxers for 18 years. And my job is going to continue to help and support them and train them, okay? But it's got to look different, okay? For us to be able to step out in 2 years, I can't be in your classrooms every day between now and then let go, right? So I've been holding the back seat of that bike, training them to drive it, to ride it, right? And I've got to let go of that. So that happens today. The other part is just being able to give back to my wife, who's been on the receiving end of those 50, 60, and 70-hour work weeks. And she's ready. She's ready. Also for my health. I can keep going, but I'm going to hit a wall someday, and it's going to hurt like hell. So change starts today. Thanks to all of you. And there's going to be challenges. These guys have lots to continue to learn and grow, just as every single one here. And so do I. I've got to figure out a different way to support and help and do my job. Okay? Along with that, change, there's more change that's coming. And that change is going to land in Fruta. So here's what that looks like. Family Health West is growing, and I'm right in the middle of their way. And they've been looking at 286 North Cherry Street for the last 18 years. And 10 years ago when they built that hospital, their visions and dreams got bigger and goals. So you might have noticed there were some suits in my office the other day for a closed meeting. And so we're working with Family Health West right now to partner for a new Fruta Discovery Kids Learning Center. So right now we're looking at the feasibility of moving our location over to the Oaks, which is right on Otley, right down the road, right before you get to the co-op. Go north to the corner of Shellady and go west, 3 blocks down on the right. Okay, it's a huge campus. We wouldn't need but a third of it, and we could possibly take our capacity over 200. And that's what Fruta needs. Fruta needs it now. Fruta needs us to be 150 right now. But in the future, Fruta will fill a center with 225 kids. I told you change starts now. This is a huge undertaking. But I've got to work smart at that. I can't just add on another job. Okay? But we have the infrastructure in place to support all of our staff, our kids, our families, and the facilities in place right now. So this is the next big project that I'll be working on, looking at feasibility. Nothing's done, far from done. We've had one great meeting, we had a tour. What does that mean? That means Discovery Kids' plan is to still be open in Fruta, is to still continue to serve our community like we have for the last 18 years. And because the Oaks isn't being used right now, it's been vacant for at least almost a year, I think. I think it was right after COVID is when they They dispersed their adult living. They've been trying to figure out what the plan is, but I have a feeling they had an idea of trying to move me out over there for years, but we just started to get on the talking page. Jobs are secure in Fruita. There'll be more jobs, and with a bigger program, there's more opportunity.